I had a conversation with Mike the other day. It was more like listening to him. He had a very long uh, comment or explanation about some of the ideas and thoughts that he had, that how it would be best for the Muslims to present Islam in a way that would appeal to people. And I just wanted him to maybe shorten it and give us his thoughts that he shared with us, and then I will give my response.
So, thank you, Raya. These were my thoughts. In a country like Malaysia, where for a century and a half you've had stability, when I go to the mosque and I see the environment here, for generations you have been able to be forgiving, and that is one of the principles that I've noticed is prevalent in Islam. And the people here are forgiving. They've had peace for a century and a half. And would you address, rather than the mechanics of how you're instructed to pray and behave, bring in the idea of forgiving, please?
Yeah, Michael has a good comment or observation from a outsider, Western. He's American, and he's seen a lot of violence around the world that seems like the Muslims are involved. And he comes to Malaysia, he sees such peaceful people, and he's really impressed by the way people live. They really live, he said, they live Islam of 600, year 680. And they live Islam in such a peaceful way. Why is it that the rest of the world, the Muslim world, don't follow this? And he's suggesting, instead of concentrate on talking about what Islam is and the advantage of Islam over other religions, why not concentrate on forgiveness? And I think this is a legitimate question or comment. And I'd like to answer by saying that we have to take a look, first of all, before I go to this last part. Why is it the violence has been happening for years and years and years within the Muslim world, Muslim countries? If you take a look, because you're a very intelligent man and you know history and you are aware of a lot of things that has happened. You're 81 years old, so you have seen the whole world that others have not seen. If you really have a really good look at what has happened for the centuries to the Muslim countries, Western world have come and occupied their land. They have basically taken the resources, they have taken whatever they could, and then put the people in poverty. And if they ever, left them, they left them in poverty, but they took all their natural resources, which is still happening, by the way. So people had no other way but to resort to violence in order to disagree with these decisions. And most of the time they couldn't win because they didn't have weapons, they didn't have power. But the Western countries, they had all the things available to them to crush these people. This has happened, even it happened after the death of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, because there were rulers that came after him that did not follow Islamic, Bani Umayyah, for example, Bani Abbas, we call them by that name. They came and they basically were interested in power grab, and they crushed any opposition. This goes back 1300, 1400s, not very far after the death of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. Imagine this, over 1,000 years. The rulers, even the Muslim rulers, have crushed any opposition, which is going on up until today. Malaysia is not like that. Malaysia is not like that. It's first of all, they have not been occupied. They were occupied by the British. And in the 1957, I'm not the best one to respond to this, but in the 50s, Malaysia gained its independence. I am not sure in which way, but Malaysia, after they gained their independence, Malaysia did not enter into any kind of a conflict around the world. And Malaysia is very small. It is not a kind of a country that it would be worth Western occupiers come and occupy Malaysia because it has some incredible resources. No. So Malaysia is very small and it's self-sufficient and they're doing fine. That is what you're seeing, which is beautiful, you see. But you take a look right now, just open the news and see who is doing what to who and in what scale. So what am I to do? As a Muslim, my job is to tell people, like yourself. My first thing is not to defend Islam, but my first aim is to tell you about Allah. Who is Allah? Why did He create us? What is the purpose of creation? Why did He send prophets? What was the message of prophets? We in Islam, we believe 125,000 prophets were sent to all mankind. We only have the name of couple of handful of it in the Bible and in Islam, in the Quran. So we don't know, but the message was one message. The message was to worship only one God. When this message was violated, what happens when the message was violated? People became greedy. They started hurting each other, killing each other, and cheating each other. Whether it was within the Muslim society, within whatever country. You take a look at the Bible. I used to read the Old Testament. I used to practice Christianity for many years. I used to read the Old Testament from one end to another and start one end to another, and I'm still doing that. I came to know Allah before I came to Islam. I came to know Allah by just reading this. What did I find out? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose these people and moved them out of Egypt to the land that was supposed to take him to the promised land, and how much disobedience they committed before they finally got to the land. They got all the 12 tribes, they got their own land, they got their own, and it was very clear. The laws that God gave to Moses to give to people was very clear, beautiful, perfect. How long did it take before they started worshiping idols? Before they started killing their prophets, before they started opposing everything? So what did God do? Well, He didn't say, you're my chosen people, you can do whatever you want to do. He let them be taken over by their enemies. They were slaves, they were pushed, they were driven away, they were killed. And then after a while, another prophet was sent. If they listened to the prophet, then God opened the door for them, gave them victory. How long did that take? Not very long. Just read the Old Testament for yourself. You were started to be a Catholic. You read it, you understand that human nature, and it's not limited to the Jews. Muslims are not innocent. Christians are not. We have done this to each other. So my job is here. I don't want to get into political. If I talk to you about politics until I'm blue in the face, I'm not going to achieve anything. But what I want to do with you, that we have talked for quite a while, is to direct you to one creator. Who is that one creator? Is the creator you already agree that He exists. Who is He? What is He that what is it that He wanted? And what are we supposed to do in response to His message? That's all that I'm trying to achieve. And once this is, if this something makes sense to you or other people who watch this video, this is the main aim that I'm looking for.